Hello, leaders. Hey, this is Paul Grau, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that equips team leaders to lead through the challenges they face every day. So, today, I want to talk about the skill of listening and how leaders can listen better and how leaders need to listen better. Before I get into that, I want to tell you about a deal that you can get right now. I'm hosting a simulcast of the John Maxwell team's biggest event of the year, Live to Lead. And I'm offering two different ways that you can watch. First of all, you can purchase a virtual pass, and that'll allow you to watch it live on October 8th, and it'll give you 3 days of replays that you can watch. So basically, you can watch it in the comfort of your home, your office, wherever you want to watch it. And then you get 3 days to watch the replays. The second way for you to watch this is to schedule a private event through me, where I give you a private event for you and your team, private showing, and I can either show up at your place of business or we can do it virtually, as long as it's before the end of February 2022. And right now, as an added bonus, for a very limited time, I'm including virtual passes for anyone who signs up right now for a private showing. And that's only going to be for maybe this week or so. So if you're interested in watching it virtually, click on the link in today's show notes or email me at paul@clcteam.com. And that is to schedule your private showing or to get the virtual link from me. Okay, so let me ask you, would you say you're a good listener? I mean, really? And depending on how you answer that, as a follow-up question, would the people around you say that you're a good listener? Would your team members say that you're a good listener as a leader? Now, I'll be the first to admit that I struggle with my listening skills at times. And although I can argue that I hear most of everything people say to me, sometimes I just am not listening well at all, or I'm not retaining everything that is being said. Now, I can blame it on my personality because I'm a high DI, and DIs aren't known for their listening skills. And, that could legitimately contribute to my lack of listening skills. However, this is something that I need to take responsibility for. And it's something that I really need to be held accountable for. Recently, during a few mastermind calls that I was leading, the groups discussed how important it was for leaders to be good listeners. And yet, most of us agreed that our listening skills can be a lot better. Our discussion led to everyone sharing some of their personal tips that have helped them over the years to be better listeners. And I want to share those tips with you today. So the first tip was make eye contact with whoever's doing the speaking. And this was pretty much unanimous. Everybody said that if you make eye contact with the person speaking to you, it'll be much better for your listening skills. The second tip was completely focus on the person doing the speaking and do not try to multitask no matter what. The third was repeat in your mind the things that are standing out to you as they speak. Number 4, ask them follow-up questions to get clarification on what they're saying. Number 5, repeat back to them word for word anything that confuses you or you just don't understand. Number 6, watch their body language, as it often tells more than their words do. And ironically, words only make up about 7% of the listening and the conversation and the main point. Number 7, listen to their tone. If they get more excited about certain things, well, those are the really important things to that person. And that's probably something that you should listen to and remember. Number 8, write things down immediately after the conversation to better remember the details. This will actually help you pay closer attention because you're thinking to yourself, okay, I need to write this down. So you're going to pay attention. Number 9, try to clear your mind of everything else. Now, this is more difficult than it sounds because our brain processes like 450 words a minute, and most people only speak at about 150 words per minute. So we have a lot of extra room in there that when we're listening to these 150 words, a lot of other thoughts are going through our mind. But try to clear everything from your mind and focus on the listener. And finally, number 10, and this was unanimous too, but we need to learn to zip our mouth. Zip our mouth shut and don't even think about talking when somebody else is talking. Just concentrate on your listening. And one of the biggest mistakes we make here is as we're listening, we're trying to think how we're going to answer them or how we're going to respond to them. And so don't do that. Just take it all in. And at the end, if it's some silence going on there because you're thinking about how to answer them, that's fine. That just tells them that you were really listening to it and processing it. So that's only 10 of the tips that we shared with each other on how to become a better listener. And mind you, all of these, there was about 60 people total. They were all leaders and they all shared a lot of tips. So today's challenge is to think about these tips that I just mentioned and write down anything that you would add to the list. Then discuss that with your team and throughout your organization. Because let's face it, listening is one of the most important skills that we usually don't ever get any training on. And it is so much needed. That's always intrigued me. Why isn't there any more listening classes? So hopefully reviewing some of these tips and coming up with your own tips to add to the list that I mentioned will help you and your entire team all listen better. And this is a skill that will most definitely improve every area of your life. Because let's face it, we all want to be heard when we're talking. Hey, that's it for today. But I would love to hear any of your additional tips that you would add to the list. I'll start making a list of all the tips that any of you provide and send in to me and make another show about all of them. And I'll give you credit if you want. Some people don't want to be mentioned though. And lastly, don't forget about the free 15-minute coaching call that you can have with me just by reaching out via email at paul@clcteam.com. Hey, hope you have a great rest of your day. And until tomorrow, run to your challenges. We'll see you.